Yo, what is good, fellas? Hope you boys are all having a fantastic Friday. Today, we're going to be ranking every single fan appreciation card we got yesterday. Before we hop into that, I just want to say that every single one of these cards are super good. So if there's a card that you really want, screw my list, go pick up exactly who you want and add to your team. When making this list, I really looked for three things. One, are their stats and abilities top tier? I mean, at this point in the game, everything should be, but I do think there are some cards that EA kind of did dirty. I also considered what position they played, and is that position a depth position? Can you have multiple players at this position playing at the same time? Definitely one of the bigger things I looked into, especially because I'm nitpicking with all of these cards. And the third thing I really looked into was their size. Are they a bigger receiver? Are they a smaller receiver? How big of a defensive tackle are they? These are all things I looked into because, again, these guys are all so good. It's the end game, fellas. I feel appreciated with these cards. Definitely not the store packs, but that was our whole issue yesterday that we talked about in length. So if you want to hear me go rant about how shitty the fan appreciation store and everything besides the cards are, go check out yesterday's 18-minute video. It was a good time. Now, let's go talk about the worst card that we saw with fan appreciation. So we have 14 fan appreciation cards to talk about. I'm also going to include the welcome item cards because those cards are so unbelievably good. So the worst fan appreciation card, I believe, is Clay Matthews. This card is just nothing special. He has 81 finesse move as a power rusher. I get it, it's finesse, not power, but he is a rusher, and finesse move being below 90, being on the lower end of 80 is actually dirty work by EA. He is only 6'3", 255 pounds, which is big, but we also have Ed Too Tall Jones in this promo, and who is 6'9", so it's really hard to compete with that. Ability-wise on Clay Matthews, he gets decent stacks, but nothing that's like, oh my god, you need this guy on your team right now. It's just kind of there, especially at this point in the game. The fourth slots on these cards, they get everything. The last three, they get like a select discounted bucket. I don't really understand why they wouldn't just give us everything on these cards, but I guess that's a lot to ask for from EA. Again, though, he gets a decent stack, but his stats on this guy are just so unbelievably strange. 95 block shed. Yes, he has 99 power move, but like, of course he should. He's a power rusher. 81 finesse move. It's like, I can't really deal with that. So he's the worst player on the list. I don't think there's much of an argument for that one. So believe it or not, at number 13, I have LTD Alshon Jeffrey. I think he's the worst wide receiver we got. And that is definitely one of the reasons why he's sitting at 13. 98 speed, 98 short, 97 medium, 99 deep. That's pretty good. 6'3", 218 pounds. For some reason, I remember Alshon Jeffrey just being like 6'6". I guess I'm just an idiot. Ability-wise on Alshon Jeffrey, all these cards get charged up X factors, which is really good, but he just doesn't get anything else that's like that eye-popping to me. Like in this discounted spot, he gets red zone threat and acrobat. Again, I don't want to talk about this again, but EA, what are you doing by giving receivers acrobat? He also gets decent stacks in this fourth slot. I'm calling this the fourth slot. It's because it's I'm calling these the first. This is the fourth. So just, yeah, we got it. Nothing really crazy on here. Obviously, he's got the bruiser, the tank, the acrobat again, which is just a staple, I guess, on offensive players, but he just isn't too special. Nothing's calling to me with this Alshon Jeffrey card. It sucks because Alshon Jeffrey was a beast in fantasy football when I was growing up, but now his Madden card just kind of blows, so I absolutely hate the guy. Now at 12 is where I have Night Train Lane. This kind of sucks. I really like Night Train Lane cards every time they come out, but this card is just he has 99s everywhere, but 94 agility. He's also 6'1", 194, and when you're comparing that size to the rest of the corners in the game, he's not up there with the best of the best. And that is really why Night Train Lane is falling down this list. If you want to use Night Train Lane, there is no issues with that, but he doesn't get the bottleneck or the universal coverage meta that's like actually destroying the game right now. He does get every KO, but there are just better options in the secondary. As you guys can see who I have next up, which is Ty Law. It's hard for me to consider these DBs top tier in a top tier endgame promo when they're just not that with the ability stack. And it's unfortunate because I like Night Train Lane cards always. So I said it before, but I have Ty Law up next. It's because he doesn't have universal coverage. It's the best DB ability in the game I think I've ever seen. Every single KO in one ability is disgusting work. Card is not bad. He's 5'11", 200 pounds, 98s, 99s all over the board. Honestly, might be better than Night Train Lane. These guys are actually reversible. You can flip them. I just think, he's the LTD. He goes for more. Should be better, but is he? Doesn't really matter. But again, I wouldn't recommend picking up any of the fan appreciation DBs because they don't have universal coverage or bottleneck. That is the meta right now, and it is very hard to compete with that if you don't have any on your team. Ty Law, Night Train, Lane, I call them the 12 and 11 spot I think we're at right now. Guys, counting is so hard for me. Just get used to it. I'll fuck it up. We ball, but they're very reversible. It's just they're not meta cards, and that's unfortunate because they're both very big names for EA. So after Ty Law, I have the LTD Julius Thomas. I don't think we've seen Julius Thomas in MUT for a minute. I know he got a maybe a Diamond Dynasty card last year, I think. Maybe that was this year. You know, the MUTs are all combining in my head. But card is pretty solid. It's just that 70 run block. Like, dude, come on. He is 6'5", 256. He is definitely a vertical threat tight end. I get it. But 70 run block? That's dirty work by Electronic Arts. He gets all the charged up, so which is good, but like, I don't know. This card just doesn't really speak to me like some of the other tight ends we've been getting recently. They also give him like offensive lineman abilities, but then just give him 70 run block. Shit doesn't make any sense. So I mentioned this in the intro that I didn't have Warren Moon super high up, and yeah, he's right around the middle tier of my list. Card looks really good just based off stats. Warren Moon does have a decent ability, or not decent ability, decent release. He's 6'3", 221, but his ability stack just not being god tier is really where this card just kind of fails at. He can't compete with the Tom Brady's of the world. He might be able to compete with Mahomes. I think Lamar Jackson is better. Andrew Luck is a little worse than Warren Moon, but I prefer Andrew Luck because he's significantly cheaper. Chad Powers is a good option too, but Warren Moon just is not that special compared to the other quarterbacks that we have. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, one thing I really considered was how do they compete with the rest of the players at their position? And Warren Moon just cannot compete with the top of the top. Where I do have my number one guy in the list, I think he is the best at his position. That was a lot of rambling for Warren Moon, where we just really didn't talk much about Warren Moon. I think the card is mid. I got Ed Too Tall Jones next up. He's 6'9" or 69, so that's really why this guy is super high up. 93 speed, 98 block shed, 96 power move, 99 finesse move. EA, this is how you make an edge rusher. Don't give him 81 finesse move. That was actually dirty work by you guys. 99 finesse move, 96 block, 98 block shed. Very good looking card right here. 95 tackle, 93 speed, 97 excel, and did I mention he's 6'9"? Yeah. Ed Too Tall Jones is probably the best edge rusher we got out of this promo. Ability-wise on Ed Too Tall Jones. Inside stuff, double or nothing, speedster, no outsiders, and edge threat elite. You get to pick 3 of those, so pretty good 3 to pick from. I'd probably rock with an edge threat elite and no outsiders, maybe a double or nothing, and I'm assuming he gets secure tackler. He gets tackle supreme, and I'm assuming he also gets secure tackler somewhere in here. If I'm wrong, that really doesn't change my, there he is. It doesn't really change my take on him, but he does get it, so it doesn't matter. You can also toss him in at right end if you want. I think Ed Too Tall Jones is a very decent edge rusher. Again, no glowing Colossal, I believe. Hopefully I'm wrong. I forgot to look, but yeah, I don't see Colossal on here, which just isn't. It's one of the best abilities in the game, and I don't know why EA picks and chooses who gets it. Like, they're so stingy about it, dude. Give Ed Too Tall Jones Colossal, EA. Come on. Starting the top 7, I have Arian Foster. Now, this one might be, like, biased. I like Arian Foster. He was a stud in fantasy football when I was growing up, just like Alshon Jeffrey. This is a big throwback promo for me. Stats on Alshon though: 98 speed, 98 change of direction, 99 truck, 99 break tackle, 6'1", 227. He does get charged up angry runs, so I don't really have to worry about him like being good. He doesn't get a second X factor as an ability like some of these top tier running backs, but I think the running back position is one that I'm more lenient on because I'm kind of tired of the meta we have. I think Arian Foster gets every single ability you could possibly want on a running back besides Freight Train as an ability, but that's too much to ask for, and I know I went on a complete rant about DBs not getting bottleneck in universal coverage. Shout out Ty Law and Night Train Lane and how they suck, and then I have Arian Foster at 7, but fellas, it's my video. I like Arian Foster. He's a stud. Yeah, so next up I got Warren Sapp. Again, I looked at the size of Warren Sapp and remembered what his Super Bowl card did. Let that sink in. Remember that terror, that glowing X Factor in the middle did to you guys for months? Yeah, he's back. He's not going to be as like terrorizing as his Super Bowl card at the time, but he's still a very good defensive tackle. He is so big, and that's just kind of what you look for in DTs. Also, free inside stuff, secure tackle, or interior threat. He gets all the good defensive tackle abilities. Warren Sapp, definitely a stud. Rightfully so in the upper half of my list. Cranking the top 5, and I believe Junior Seau is the highest rated LTD I actually have, and rightfully so. This guy is a stud. 6'3", 255, 98 speed, 99 block shed, 99 hit power, 95 zone. Ability-wise on Junior Seau, in the last 3 slots, Lurk Artist, shocker, Avalanche, Electric, Secure Tackler, Inside Stuff, and Mid-Zone KO. The thing I like about this Junior Seau card is, yes, those the last 3 slots, you only get to pick 3 of the 5, but he gets everything else in all the other ability slots, so he gets a god stack of abilities. I read through him yesterday. I was like, holy glaze, this guy is nuts. But Junior Seau is a stud, and probably the only LTD worth picking up from this promo. Alright, it isn't probably. He is the only LTD worth picking up from this promo. I got Seau Jackson, cracking the top 4. Commanders legend, 99 speed, 99 short, 99 medium, 99 deep, 5'10", 175. He's not the best receiver on this list, but he is still an absolute stud. I like smaller receivers. I like the OBJ that we had. I loved the AKA crew Tyreek Hill. God, English is hard, fellas. I think Seau Jackson is just a better version of all of those cards. The abilities on him, evasive, deep elite, return man. Let's go. And then playmaker. If you guys don't know, I'm a huge fan of the return artist ability. And then everything else in here is good. He gets, your evasive. You would want your bruisers, your tanks. He also gets acrobat for whatever reason. EA, please make it make sense. I just want to know why you guys do this. I say this I've probably said it 4 times in this video, but it just doesn't make sense. Somebody clarify for me in the comment section if you do know why, but shit is actually just makes no sense. But Seau Jackson's a stud, number 4. So we're at the top 3, and my favorite defensive player is Ryan Clark. Now, off rip, I only have him at a 94, but when you put all of the tokens into him, which we can't get until this week, you guys can get up to a 98 right now, or 97 right now, he gets ×5 any team chem. That is dirty work. It's so goofy. That is very fan appreciation right there, if I've ever seen it. Ability-wise on Ryan Clark, though, Lurk Artist, Mid-Zone KO, Tackle, Supreme Avalanche, Deep Zone KO, and then he gets, everything else. On top of that, he is a free card, and free is always better than spending coins, so that definitely had to do something where I have him on this list. Ryan Clark, for being a free card with ×5 team chem and really good abilities, the 3rd best player we got yesterday. But if you know me, then offense wins championships, so I had to have Plaxico Burress at number 2. I just think he's a little bit better than Ryan Clark. I mean, look at this guy. Fully maxed out, 1, that card art, it's so fire. 2 ×5 team chem. Same thing like I just said for Ryan Clark. Abilities on Plaxico, matchup nightmare, mid and elite, deep elite. I actually really like this ability. I've been using it on Vincent Jackson, and I've been very impressed with how much of an impact it actually makes. 3rd down threat, I've never used 3rd down threat in my entire life. This just looks like a pointless ability, but you don't have to run it because it sucks. He also gets evasive. I'm assuming he gets a tank somewhere down in here. Yeah, he gets a bruiser, he gets a tank, he gets an acrobat. Let's go. And then he also gets evasive if you want. And then again, all the in elites, outs elites, short in elites. He also gets route tech for free. Yeah, and did I mention they also just get God tier 0? They get, not God tier, they just get so many 0 AP abilities. I guess all the cards really do, but I do think they juiced these loyalty players a little bit more. When I was looking through the, upper, I guess the guys that I had higher up on the list, their, tier 1 and tier 2 buckets were just not that good. And I mean, Plaxico Burress has very good abilities in his tier 1 and tier 2 abilities. Runoff elite has a tier 2 ability. In tier 3, he gets literally everything you could possibly want. I like honorary lineman a lot, especially on Plaxico Burress, because he is 6'5", 232 pounds. I didn't even mention this dude's size, but buddy's got to be packing. And if we want to talk about packing, Will Shields is the best fan appreciation card we got. He's the best right guard in the game. Am I over-exaggerating? No, this guy is a fucking stud. 6'3", to 315 pounds, 99s at every single stat minus his awareness. All right, fine. He's just kind of clueless on the field, but it's fine. Every single ability you could possibly want on a right guard, Will Shields gets it for 0 AP. I mean, we can click through all these and you guys can just see. There is nothing that you could possibly want on Will Shields that he doesn't get. He is pretty expensive for a right guard, I will say. 780,000 coins is a fat overpay. But if you're still building your squad or run a Chiefs themed team or just want to be that guy and just spam running the ball, then Will Shields, a must-have for your team as the best right guard in the game. And fellas, it was a long one, but that is me ranking every single fan appreciation card we got yesterday. Let me know what you guys think about this list down below. And again, I just want to say thank you guys so freaking much for 1K subscribers. The giveaway ended yesterday. We picked the winner earlier today. But just thank you boys so much. You guys don't know how much this really means. You guys just clicking on my video, watching me fuck up talking, and just staying and sticking around. Like, you guys are all absolute goats. I appreciate every single one of you, and I promise to keep posting bangers because, hey, let's make this shit a full-time job. That's everything I got, but I'll catch you boys later. Peace.